Hi everyone. Today we are now discussing about selecting the research method. Selecting the research method, the researcher must first decide whether the proposed research will be primarily applied or basic and quantitative or qualitative in nature. The emphasis of this book are basic and quantitative approaches to research. The methods that fall into those categories will be treated more fully later in the text. Applied research. There is a distinction to be made between basic and applied research. Both types of research ultimately should add the body of the knowledge within a field. In doing so, they may utilize different methods and techniques. The interplay between academics and practitioners can be extremely valuable and should be encouraged. Action research. Action research is a participative organizational research focused on problem definition and resolution. Isaac and Michael describe action research as practical, orderly, flexible, and adaptive, and empirical to a degree, but weak in internal and external validity. As an action research technique, scenario planning involves workshops where participants discuss library development with focus on strategies, practices, and knowledge about the library. Evidence-based research. Evidence-based research for decision-making could be considered a type of applied or action research and has become very popular within the library and information science domain. This interest may have been spurred by the 20th century movement on healthcare and policy that calls for healthcare professionals to make decisions based on the best evidence. OCLC, or Online Computer Library Center Incorporation, created a data mining research area to provide intelligence to library services and systems to make informed decisions. Evaluative research. Evaluative research, there are two types of evaluative research. First, we have summative evaluation. Summative evaluation is typically takes the form of tests and quizzes or other criterion reference assessment, where a score is assigned based on a learner's supply evidence that he or she has mastered the desired knowledge or skills. Next is formative evaluation. Formative evaluation are evaluation for learning. They are often undergraded and informal. Their aim is to provide both the students and structures with a gauge of where the level of understanding is at the current moment and enable the instructor to adjust accordingly to meet the emerging needs of a class. What is the difference between formative and summative evaluation? Formative evaluation is typically conducted during the development or improvement of a program or course. Summative evaluation involves making judgments about the efficacy of a problem or course at its conclusion. Qualitative research. Qualitative research at Gorman Clayton have written an excellent guide to a qualitative research methods with a practical how to approach for information professionals. Qualitative research focus on trying to understand why participants react as they do, and it tends to give more attention to the subjective aspects of a human experience and behavior. Quantitative research tends to apply a more holistic and natural approach to the resolution of a problem than does qualitative research. Specific research method. The researcher must first identify the general approach to be taken in a research study and then choose one or more specific methods to gather necessary data. What follows is a brief introduction to a number of research methods, some of which are treated in detail. Others are merely identified with an indication that more information is to be provided. A number of additional related readings are provided near the end of the chapter. Survey research. Survey research is an area of study where researchers examine the relative incidence, distribution, and interrelation of natural occurring a variable in a population to try to work out how best to study them. This methodology is most commonly used in descriptive studies, but can also be applied to other fields such as epidemiology and sociometrics. Experimental research. In experimental research, a researcher manipulates at least one independent variable and controls other relevant variables and observes the effect on one or more independent variables. This is considered to be the best method of testing causal relationships, and it's treated more fully in Chapter 6 of the Principles of Biometrics. Historical research. The purpose of historical research is to reconstruct the past systematically and objectively by collecting, evaluating, verifying, and synthesizing evidence to establish facts and reach defensible conclusions, often in relation to a particular hypothesis. Gay defines it as the collection and objective evaluation of data related to past occurrences in order to test hypotheses concerning causes, effects, or trends of those which may help to explain present events and anticipate future events. Modeling. A model is an abstraction, a mental framework for analysis of a system. Modeling is typically used to measure the performance of a real system. Computers are often used in simulating complex problems. The term model can also be part of a process of developing a theory. Systems analysis. System analysis is similar in concept to operation research but tends to place greater emphasis on the total system. It typically takes into consideration the objectives and performance, the environment, the resources, the components, and the management of the entire system. Libraries sometimes conduct system analysis before adding a new service or revising an existing one, such as an online catalog. Case study. A case study is an investigation of phenomena as they occur without any significant intervention of investigators. A type of qualitative research is research in which in-depth data are gathered relative to a single individual, program, or event for the purpose of learning more about a known or poorly understood situation. The nature of the problem is the major determinant of the most appropriate research methodology, and the case study is well suited to collecting descriptive data. DELPHI study. The DELPHI study is designed to generate consensus by systematically refining prior responses of study participants. It can be employed for issues that are quantitative and non-quantitative in nature and helps to support informed decision making. This methodology is also useful when participants are hostile or argumentative or unable to meet easily in person. Content analysis. A content analysis is analysis of a content of words, phrases, concepts, and so on in books, films, and other kinds of materials. It has been used to determine how frequently racist and sexist terms appear in certain books. Procter and Pelling use content analysis to study students' research anxiety and their perception of research. Bibliometrics. Bibliometrics is a special type of documentary research or inquiry into the tools of library and information science. It has been defined as the application of mathematics and statistical methods to books and other media of communication. The early bibliometric studies produced three basic laws: Brodford's law, Lotka's law, and Zipf's law. Task-based research. Task-based research has been designed to utilize multiple research methods within the linguistics, teaching, and learning, the human-computer interface communities. Tasks play an important role in functional software and system and user interface design as well as understanding users' needs. Task-based information seeking theory 87 and modeling 88 has developed enable researchers to work within the user's task domain instead of within the technology domain. Comparative librarianship. There is a long-standing debate over whether comparative librarianship is research method or a subject matter. Essentially, it constitutes an approach to the search of cause and effect in library development and to the understanding of library problems. It involves two or more national, cultural, or societal environments as well as the analysis of similarities and similarities of phenomena in various environments. Technology-based research methods. As libraries and other information agencies embrace ever-changing technologies such as social networking, the profession must facilitate and encourage technology-based research. As more libraries become involved in technologies and other social media, both qualitative and quantitative research into these technologies have slowly begun. Geographic Information System or GIS have the potential to be a valuable data collections and analysis tool for applied research. Little research has been done using GIS, which is surprising given the growing popularity of Google Earth and MapQuest. A less common method, protocol analysis, has been found useful for studying the use of online catalogs. Using a video camera may be less intrusive than direct human observation. Ethics of research. Ethics are important to all kinds of social media and behavioral research, especially when the research involves human subjects. Unfortunately, unethical practices seem to have become more common in recent years, and a growing percentage of unethical practices are relatively difficult to detect. An increasing number of research studies are conducted by large groups of researchers, making it harder to observe misconduct and attribute it to the appropriate person. Ethics for researchers Ethics for research on the internet. Some researchers maintain that posting to public channels like Usenet and open mailing lists are fair game for analysis and reporting. As computer and biomedical technology provided increased monitoring of human behavior, we can expect more challenges to the boundaries of acceptable research practices. Scientific and research misconduct. Ethical standards are, in effect, an account trend of research, and they can be divided into two aspects. First, the legal and institutional constraints designed to protect the people from whom data are gathered, and the second, the responsibility of the individual researcher, more proper conduct above the beyond legalities. Scientific misconduct involves fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, or other practices that seriously deviate from commonly accepted practices within the scientific community for proposing, performing, or reporting research. According to Wayne State University policy, misconduct does not include honest error or differences of interpretation in judgment of data, nor does it include the innocent failure to comply with the terms of research grants. That's all. Thank you.